Folks, welcome to the Watchdog Report. I'm Ed Safone, Yorktown Watchdog and President of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown. We have a special guest tonight who's a candidate for the Yorktown Town Board in a special election on March 10th. Now, when I introduce Bob Giordano, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
All right. Now, Bob, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us why people should vote for you, and then we'll go into the Small Business Association that you started, okay?
Sure. Well, as you might remember, I ran for office in 2003, and I did a pretty credible job running for supervisor. I've been actively engaged in the town since then and before then, and so I have a lot of experience with various boards, Planning Board, the Yorktown Preservation Committee, other organizations such as the Lions and the Historical Society. As you mentioned, I just started last year the Yorktown Small Business Association, so I've been actively engaged in a lot of activities in the town, and I love the town, and I think the town needs some leadership and some fresh new faces, which I think I bring to the table. So I put my name in the hat, and lo and behold, the number came out, and instead of finding myself under the bus, I was in the bus. So that made me happy, and so I'm running for Nick Bianco's unfinished one-year term.
One-year term, okay. Because I was really happy that the Democratic Party let me and Dennis in to listen, and there was 4 candidates, and they were people that were around a long time, and it was really good that you got this thing. And on our next show, we'll have Rosanne Brackett, who's going to be your running mate, okay? So how long have you been in Yorktown?
I've been here since 1980, I want to say 87. Actually, 88 is when I got up here from Mid-Westchester, White Plains, Greenberg area.
Okay. So what do you do, like, for a living?
Well, I was with IBM for 20 years,
Oh, okay.
Left there and went into another technology company. The so-called dot-com bubble hit in 2000. That's when all of these internet companies and high-tech companies went bellies under. And that was about the time my consulting practice was in its height. And so we had some issues keeping that business going. At the same time, I was looking at other businesses, and I started a home improvement contracting business, man of all seasons. And so,
that's great,
I'm doing a variety of things, including that, and semi-retired, but
well, that's good, because I know you're a member of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown, and we're a member of the Yorktown Small Business Association. And you've been there doing about a year now.
Correct.
So I remember the last time we had like a meeting, there was a lot of people. So how many people have you got in your organization? Because that's part of like being a candidate. You have to start with your base and keep working. So
right.
How did that work out?
So we started in January after initially casting a net out to see if it was feasible in October of last year. And we found that there was an unfilled need of local small businesses, and we incorporated January 7th. So this past January, about 2 weeks ago, we hit our first anniversary. Right. And we now have 60 members.
Oh, 6? Oh, that's great.
And we're very happy with that. And we have members, well, first of all, most of our members, with few exceptions, are own and operate their business in Yorktown. And many of them live in Yorktown. That's quite opposite with other business organizations, and that's what we look for. The exceptions are we'll bring in a business from out of town if it complements or fills a need that we have for our small businesses, and we've done that on a few occasions. So we're very happy with our growth. We see our growth to continue tremendously this year. We have members who have never been a member of other business organizations, are currently members of other business organizations. So when some people come to us and say, well, I'm a member of the Mayapack chamber, I can't be a member of the Yorktown Small Business. I said, well, yes, you can. If you're doing business in town or you live in town, we certainly want you to participate and be part of our organization. So it's not an exclusive,
Right.
it's an inclusive organization.
But that's important because taxes is the most biggest thing we have in the budget. So are you capable of trying to keep down the taxes? Is that what you want? Because a lot of times you hear about this fund balance and surplus is $5 million. And I think one of the answers that you said to a fund balance, that you would use it to lower taxes. Okay, we're building up the business, which brings in money and lower taxes, and using some of the fund balance, keeping enough in there. So those are some of the things that the United Taxpayers like to hear.
Right.
Okay. And how do you feel about like Costco coming in and about bringing businesses in? I mean, that's got to be
it's
number one thing.
one of our prime objectives is to help bring new businesses in that will hopefully bring a new tax base in. I look at the fund balance, and I rather call it a rainy day fund, because like all of us, I mean, depending on who your financial advisor is, you need to have some money. My father was in construction, and typically during the winter times he wasn't employed, so he had to squirrel away some money, knowing he wasn't going to be working for a few months in the winter time. So a fund balance, you know, it should be used as required. Say it's growing, and maybe we have some extra expenses here. It's bigger than we need. Let's take some of that. And
Right.
the reverse is true. Sometimes unanticipated expenses come in. You had terrible storms. You budgeted $500,000 for snow removal, and it cost you $1 million. Then you have to start tucking more money into the fund balance next year to replenish it.
Well, see, now Grace, when he ran, he said two things. He would have a financial committee, which he never started.
Correct.
And that he would keep no more than 15%. The orders at that time said no more than 10%. See, and the school keeps 4%, but they have reserves and stuff. So you have to have a reasonable rainy day fund, because all that is, you overtax the people, okay? And in the town, they got $3 million in extra funds from last year. I think it was $1 million that they didn't spend, and $1.8 million in new revenue. So how much do you? And I think it's over $5 million.
Yeah.
And I've looked in the budgets, and they say they took money out of the fund balance to reduce taxes. But in that line, I see a lot of zeros. So I got, you know me,
Right.
I go up there and I ask a lot of questions.
Sure do.
And I think it's really important that some of the things are being done before you get on, because you have to, the sober house, matter of fact, Tuesday night was voted on. So that's one of the things you wouldn't have to vote on anymore.
Right.
Okay? Now, I think that was a good deal. I thought Vishnu Patel was going to abstain, and you needed all 3 votes, and he said no, so it didn't work out. I think I was worried about if they voted yes, that's the first one, and I mentioned this, then it'd be a second and a third. And then when I heard Grace said he was the lawyers for the group homes, man, that's enough. Every time I listen to it, I hear new stuff comes out of his lips, you know? So anyway, so that's one thing. Right now, you may have to, when you get on, maybe there's lawsuits from them or something like that you have to deal with.
Sure.
So you have the skin, right, to take all this stuff and deal with it.
Look, as I said, I've been actively engaged, and I don't know all of the fine points, but I have a very good big picture on all of the issues, whether it's the Costco issue that was in the forefront for 4 years, whether it's state land that's coming down the road and the development there, the 202 corridor, I've said over and again, and so have I said that as president and founder of the Yorktown Small Business Association. That is our remaining last mile of development. So we have to do it. We have to do it right. That doesn't mean you just open the door up and let people do whatever they want, but that's where we decided it should go, and so we should be encouraging it and bringing it in. Am I disappointed that we didn't get a hotel conference center at the site that Costco's at? Yeah, but that's what kind of development should go there. Commercial development and retail. Am I happy that Costco pays better than other retailers? I certainly am. That they're going to add to the tax base? Yes, I am. Am I happy that probably 90% or better of their products come from out of this country and are manufactured in third world countries. So am I happy about that? No. My father was a blue-collar worker. Where are the blue-collar jobs? So everything's got to be balanced. I think that's what I bring to the table. Balancing, compromising, advocating. As you know, in your involvement in the community, you just can't barrel into a room and get in somebody's face and say, you're going to do it and you're going to do it my way. There's, hey, can we find a way to do this together? I know you don't want to approach it from the right, and I don't want to approach it from the left, but that's what compromise is, and it's not a dirty word.
No, it's good.
So,
if both sides compromise. You can compromise so much one way and compromise so much the other way.
Right.
But like Michael Grace, now, I don't know how you're going to get along with him when you get on there. Listen, he's a good man. But the thing is, he's running like he's a king, my way or that's it. And then when you bring up issues, and this is the best part, as they said, I was disrespectful. I have compassion, okay? That's a little different from being disrespectful, okay? And I have the facts. You don't like the facts? Tough. The people out there should know, and that's what you, as going to be a trustee, should make sure that people know the facts on all these things.
Correct.
And like Sue Siegel gone on now, she's bringing up a lot of stuff before time because she's knowledgeable at that. And if you get on, maybe you should, you talk to her and you guys get together. And if Rosanne gets on, okay. Now what was good about it is that now Terrence Murphy left. Now it's a 3-year term and a 1-year term, okay. Now, right now, there's 2 Democrats and 1 Republican. You hate to look at it that way, but that's the way it is, okay?
Sure.
So Grace has been trying to get 3-2 so he could do his stuff, okay? Now, I think if you guys get on the 2 Democrats, I think you can work together, all 4 years, for the best. I don't know how he's going to feel, but I think that's the best thing for the town.
Yeah.
So you got a proven record yourself, which is great. So.
Yeah. I think the voters out there have to start thinking about that. Hopefully those who are put up by the different parties to run for office and eventually get in, don't see their votes as a Republican or a Democrat vote. It's a vote for the people who put them there. And even if I'm elected, I'm going to consider myself elected and for everyone, even though not everyone voted for me. Because there's certainly going to be issues that I agree with you on and don't agree with you on, and it's how you handle those disagreements is
well, you have a lot
what
of
matters.
issues once you're a trustee up there. Once you're a council person, I see hundreds of decisions you have to make. Some will be easy, and some you have to really get into it. But again, the United Taxpayers of Yorktown, a tax activist, try to get information out. So that's why I have you on the show today. I think everybody that's watching this, you're a good candidate, and they should go. And it's March 10th.
March 10th.
Now, do you know how it's going to be like the Board of Elections, how they're going to put the ballot? They should tell you how it's going to
I think that's still in. I don't know how they decide who's on the A line, the top, and the B and the C. There will be, as far as I know, the 4 lines minimally. The Democratic, the Republican, the Independents, and the Conservative lines. I don't know if there's other third-party lines like the Green Party or the Working Families, but I'm not aware of how they decide. I know most people that run for office want to be on the top line because I guess that's the line everyone hits first. And if they don't know who they're going to vote for, then maybe they pull the switch for whoever's on the A line. I don't know what the logic is.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if one candidate's for 3 years and one's for 1 year, will that be on the ballot like that? The same thing, same names for the 3-year term, and then another line saying for
they'll be separate. Where in the past, this is a special election, and because it's for 2 different terms that run at different lengths, it's not the 2 top vote getters who get elected.
Right.
It's whoever gets the most votes out of this seat and whoever gets the most votes out of that seat. Whereas in the past, it would be the 2 top vote getters. They get the 2 4-year seats, but there's no 4-year seats up in this election.
Right. See, now that's what I thought the parties would do. They would get everybody in, and the 2 top people would be 1 and 2, one for the 3-year, one for the 2, but it didn't work like that. It didn't work for you guys as Democrats, and it didn't work for the Republicans. So what happened in the Republican line is that there was more people running for 3 years, okay? Then those people moved down to the 1 year.
Okay.
Killed a 1 year person. It was Judy Reardon. Do you know Judy?
Yes,
Reardon?
I know
She's
Judy.
a really good
We
person.
served on the planning board together.
Oh, you worked on it? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So now, instead of just me and her, well, that was another story. They threw me out, and then I came back in because they know that the right thing to do is
Right.
the person wants to run, okay? But then it was just 2 of us, and then 3 people came down, and you had Tom Diana, you had Joe Visconti, you had another guy come down. So they put 5 people up there.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was right. But anyway, so you're going to run against Tom Diana, right?
Correct.
I think he got, and he ran for...
He ran for highway as a Democrat,
right?
about 2 years ago. Dave Paganelli beat him, and then he ran against Susan Siegel. He switched to Republican line, and he lost to Susan. So
this is his 3rd time.
this will be his 3rd run. We have a history of people running in this town time and again, and I'm not going to point out any others, but
Well, I'm one of them. I ran for the school board 12 times.
there you go. So, and I've only had the opportunity to run once, although I've tried quite a few times. So this is my 2nd time up, and
that's great.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
I'm hoping people come out to vote, because that's the only thing we have is the right to vote. To put people in there you think is going to work. A lot of times you put people in office, then they change once they're in, but that's something different.
Right.
But at the beginning, become a knowledgeable voter, see what everybody stands for, and then you put your vote in there.
Right.
So that works out good. But, it's just that we tried a while ago, last thing with me, we tried to get term limits, okay? We went before the board, and the 3 people that won the election said they were for term limits until we brought it up. They said, no, we're not for term. Well, you campaigned for that, okay? So it was a special election like now. To me, I was hoping that I could finagle some way to put term limits on there.
Is that for the supervisor's position?
Yeah, supervisor would be 4 years.
4
I'd make
years.
it 8 years.
Right.
And councilman would be 2 terms, would
Right.
be 8 years.
Sure.
And I thought that was good,
Yeah.
because you have a changeover, nobody's stuck in there. But the funniest thing is you have to go to the board first.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that chance.
Well, I'm not sure which one happened first, but I think it was, and they made a good case, and I think there's a case that can be made. Term limits, if you limit, if you put a term limit on how long the seat is, 2 to 4, I think it's a good thing, and limit it to 2 terms and 8 years and out. If you can't climb the ladder in 8 years to the next level in government, then maybe you should sit down. I think 8 or 10 years ago they made the case for the town clerk, which was a 2-year seat, and they at least moved that to a 4-year seat, so you don't have to run for office every 2 years. And then 4 or 5 or 6 years ago they did the same with the highway superintendent. And in each of those cases, I think they were also looking at the supervisor. But what I remember hearing is people saying, that's an important position, and we want to be able to pull them back after 2 years if he or she is not doing the right job. Well, I understand that, but still, here you are, you run for office, and within a year you got to worry about raising money and run again to get the nomination to run again. And so,
that's what will happen to you now,
Yeah.
right? Oh, let's just take that for instance, okay? So in November of next year,
of this year.
of this year
Yeah.
already, you would have to run again.
Yeah, the seat I'm filling, should I prevail, will be the unfinished seat of Nick Bianco, which expires at the end of this year. So if I win March 10th, it'll probably take a week or 2 to certify the election, at which point I'll be sworn in. And May, I will have to go to the convention of the Democrats, ask for them to support me again, and start running again for a 4-year term in 2016.
Oh, wow. And then the same thing like Susan Siegel now, wait a second, because she's only there for a year.
Correct.
So her seat will be open.
She's finishing the unfinished term of Dave Paganelli, which is up at the end of this year. So she has the dilemma, the double dilemma. Do I stay or do I run? I mean, that's.
Right.
It's do I run for 4 years for Dave's, for the council seat that I'm in,
right.
or do I challenge whoever the Republicans put up for supervisor? So wow. That's a dilemma that she will have. Whereas the other seat, which is Murphy's unfinished 3-year term, whoever wins there has 3 years and not worrying about running, or at least 2.
Wow, that's something. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
stuff.
It's wild.
It's a mess.
It's what. I'm glad that they moved so quickly. They could have moved more quickly, in my opinion. They didn't have to wait until Terrence's seat was vacated. They knew October 1st Nick vacated his seat. They could have, with the new law that was voted in, and just said, okay, set a date for the special election. We might have been 30 to 60 days ahead of the process here. But you know what, all being said, I don't think it's going to hurt the town, and at least the new law is working.
Well, Nick Bianco, now, I'm up there. Is Nick Bianco leaving? What's happened to his seat? Michael Gris, well, that's personal. The next day, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then he voted for, not shall, that he could say it shall be within 30 days. He says may.
Right.
Now they put it on May. That means anybody, the board could say yes to do it, or not to do it. So
yeah,
that was a surprise to me. So I know.
I think the debate on shall and may brought out a lot of our English majors and our teachers, and so I'm not so well spoken or English driven, but when they started talking about shall and may, and listening to them, you can easily understand the difference. And so, you don't want shall because that means you have to. So, but May says, you can if you want.
Yes.
And so we wound up with May, and I think it was a mistake.
Right.
But even as we discovered now, even if it was shall, they could still not agree on a basic thing. Like, Ed, when do you want to have, you shall hold the election, so can we do it in June? And you say, no, let's do it in July. And I say, no, let's do it in August. And so the shall doesn't hold any real strength either.
Well, they never put that on the ballot for either one.
Right.
They just said the May one because they voted on it. But anyway,
exactly.
So you're going to have a busy 2 months.
Yeah, 6 weeks, I think.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
So that's good in a way.
Well, you've run before. You know what it's like to knock on doors all summer long, and on nights, evenings. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you got to go. You got to knock on doors because that's the standard thing a party tells you." And I said, in the wintertime, you don't knock on doors. When the heating bill's going up and the oil tank is being filled, and you knock on someone's door and their hot air's going out, you're losing a vote every door you knock on.
That's
so,
true.
So we really don't have to do the door knocking, but we do have to get out there and find ways of meeting people.
Well, I'm glad that's only 2 people that the Democratic Party had to worry about. When I ran, there was 3 of us. So my own party knocked me off. So I'm still hurtful for that. And then when Diana came in as a Democrat, and they wouldn't allow any Republicans to run, I quit the Republican committee. Until they changed that leadership, I cannot deal with it. But listen, Republicans and Democrats now in the federal government, let's hope for the best. I don't know, Republicans won the election in November. The next thing you know, oil prices and gas prices went down. I still don't know what happened. It's in New Jersey. It's under $2.
I know. I heard it was $1.99 somewhere.
So what's going on with this stuff?
Well, I know you are one of them. We talked about it because I have a brother. 2 of my brothers lived in New Jersey. Now just one of them. But I would make sure I filled up on the way into New Jersey and on the way out because it's 20 cents a gallon difference in state sales tax alone.
That's true. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but listen, you're going to find out. Here's another one. Maybe you can tell me how you feel about the pipeline. Now, the only I attended most of those meetings. The pipeline, Algonquin pipeline, whatever it's called, Spectra, whatever it is, okay? It's only for money. They're expanding it for money, okay? And to make money, they have to put a picking station, which is an inspection station, on our property. I feel that they shouldn't do that because they want to make more money. Now, if you get on, I'm sure you're going to be in that spot. And what they're saying, the federal government can come in, declare that they could do it,
Yeah.
and eminent domain.
Yeah.
So, do you have any opinions on
Sure,
that pipeline?
sure. First of all, the pigging station is a necessary operation in order to clean the pipeline out. It doesn't have to be any particular town. It's not based on distance that I'm aware of. So it could be in Rockland, it could be in Westchester, it could be in Fairfield County. So I think most people are against that operation being in our town, and I am too. As far as the parkland alienation, which is really the big issue right now, I think for a lot of the local municipalities, we were asked as a town to allow Spectra to take 26 acres of our property in order to do the build out of the new pipe, and
That's because it was declared parkland.
Right.
Okay,
So
that's why you had.
right. So it becomes an issue that they have to go to the state to say, we will allow you to do this or not. So there's an opportunity for locals like us to say, we don't want that to happen here. But what we can't do is we can't stop the expansion of the pipeline.
But that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
They voted against that alienation, and he said no to the state, or never was up to the state.
It never was up to the state.
Because there's a time limit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I'm aware of. But the point is, you got a 60-year-old pipe in the ground.
Right.
And like pipes get rusty, and they need to be replaced. So, given that it's a maintenance issue, if it's not an immediate one,
But they never said it was maintenance.
No. But the point is that it is an aged pipeline, and if they don't replace it now, in 10 or 20 years, they probably will have to. Okay. And so, if they have to replace it, wouldn't it make sense that you put a larger pipe in for more capacity if the capacity is needed and it's available? And that's where I don't think we have any say in what goes on there. At least that's my understanding.
I'm running out of time, but it's the same footprint. They said they would put the bigger pipe in, but they got to destroy people's property,
right,
to make that footprint the same. So.
They have to. They have the right of way on either side of that pipe to do so much disturbance while they're pulling the old pipe out and putting the new pipe in. So you can't get around that, and that's their right.
All right. So listen. Look in the camera 3 there and promote yourself for the last minute.
Okay.
Give them a hard sell.
So, Bob Giordano, I'd love to have your vote for the open town council seat that Nick Bianco vacated. It's for the remainder of his term in 2015. I've been actively involved and engaged in the community of Yorktown for 27 years. I have started the Yorktown Small Business Association. We have 60 members and growing. I'm a pro-business and growth advocate in the areas that we can and should grow. The 202 corridor being a major area of our growth. We definitely need to grow our tax base. Our commercial tax base is far behind any other municipalities, and we need to improve that. I hope you'll come out on this very important election, March 10th, to vote for me.
Okay, Bob, thanks a lot.
Thank
Appreciate you for coming, and good luck to you in your election. Okay, that was Bob Giordano. So remember to become an informed voter. Get out there for March 10th and vote for Bob in the election if you feel he's the right candidate. Listen, thanks for watching. Now remember, Bob is also a member of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown. And we're a member of the Small Business Administration organization. So listen, again, don't forget to watch us at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays, on Monday nights at 9:30, and on Wednesdays at 4:30, all on Channel 74. Thanks again for watching, and we're fighting for you. Welcome to the Watchdog Report. My name is Ed Safone, Yorktown Watchdog, and President of the United Taxpayers of Yorktown. I'm going to introduce my guest tonight, Rosanne Brackett. How come I said that's the same thing last time?
I don't
Beckett.
know. Brackett.
Brackett, say bracket. All right, the
okay.
bracket. Okay, so tax bracket, that's what I'll remember
There you go.
all the time. Listen,
There you go.
I want to thank you for coming. And now, just tell us a little something about yourself before you tell me why you're running for office, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, Ed.
You're welcome.
Yes, my name is Rosanne Brackett. I've been living in Yorktown about 7 years now, and I have 2 young daughters, 5.5 and 2.5. My husband and I moved to Yorktown to purchase our home, to raise our family, and basically, you know, this is the place we want to be in for the next 30 years.
Oh, great.
So, and hopefully more.
Yeah.
My husband works at a heavy construction firm. He's a professional engineer, and right now I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
I worked for Verizon for 15 years, and so I have a really vast amount of management experience. And I decided to take a few years off and have our children and be able to stay home with them.
So you have the time to be trustee or councilwoman in Yorktown? You found the time?
Yes, I found the time because I felt that I had to make the time to get involved with what was going on in the town. You know.
I remember the first time I seen you was with the pipeline.
Yes.
And how do you feel about that? That's a good one to talk about first because
Yes.
you're involved in that. What's happening? Do you know
Yes.
anything that's happening in the pipeline?
Yes, they're still waiting for approvals. The pipeline, for anyone who's not familiar with the situation with the pipeline, there's 2 gas pipelines, natural gas pipelines that run through Yorktown, and one is 26 inches, the other one is 30 inches, and Algonquin is the maintainer of this pipeline. They want to come through and replace the 26-inch pipeline with a new 40-inch pipeline, which is exponentially bigger, so that they can get more natural gas through it
And make more money.
Okay. They're of course, it's all about money, Ed.
Right. There's nothing really wrong with it. I know it's been in, 50 or 60 years.
It's been in for 50 or 60
but
years.
they never mentioned that at any of the meetings that it was for maintenance, so
They've never mentioned that it's for maintenance.
Okay.
It is purely for expansion and to get more gas from Marcellus Shale area into New England, which they claim is for the New England customers. But there's been various articles written that they're going to be using it for export to make money to other countries.
Oh, wow.
So they will not outright admit that they want to export it, but all the signs are there.
And none of this gas goes to Yorktown for the residents, okay?
No, none of the gas is used. We don't have natural gas here in Yorktown. Most people don't. There are maybe a few people that might be close enough that have it, but none of it is for Yorktown or even New Yorkers. It's really for New England and possibly export.
So what's your opinion on it? I know you're opinionated on it, so tell us why.
my opinion is...
Because these are one of the things when you're in office
Yep.
you may have to deal with, because
Yes.
March 10th is the election,
Yes.
and usually it takes a couple of days to get certified, so by mid-March
Right.
you'll be, and before we start about the pipeline, this is for 3 years you're running for?
Yes, it's for the 3-year term.
A 3-year term for Terrence Murphy, who left.
The unexpired, yes, the remainder of Terrence Murphy's seat.
Okay, so now at least we got that straight.
Yes.
Now tell us a little more about this pipeline, what they're expecting to do if they come in, and where it's going to happen.
The first portion of it is going to be digging a new portion of the pipe, or a new pipeline across the Hudson River. So that's going to be the first piece of it. The first project is called AIM, and that's the Algonquin Incremental Markets, and that's going to be through the Hudson River into Peekskill, Verplank, Buchanan area. A new section of pipe running 450 feet from the BV Elementary School, and then connecting in Cortland with the existing pipe and ending at Stony Street, where they want to install a picking station.
That's an inspection station, cleaning station, whatever that is?
Yes, each end of the pipe has to have a picking station. where they push through what they call it's a smart pig, and it's basically a big brush that goes through the pipe 2 to 3 times a year and cleans out any debris or leftover material that's in there.
That's a controversy, right? Because
Yeah.
that stuff may be contaminated and...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so at least we got an idea what's happening now. That's good. Go ahead.
Yes, and this picking station is actually, blocks from people's homes. It's in a residential area where they want to put it.
That's going to be on Granite Knolls?
It's in Granite Knolls, yep, and it's right
On
at
town
right
property?
It's going to be on town property, yes, on Granite, right inside Granite Knolls Park.
Wow. Wow, that's like putting dangerous stuff into an area. Now, that's ball fields up there. They just fixed one of the ball fields. That'd be kids, plus you have homeowners right around the same...
right there,
Right in
yes.
the same area.
Yes.
So, they wanted to... Because I attended most of those meetings. They wanted to clear 26 acres, I think it was, to put all the equipment on.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They never said they were going to build ball fields.
No.
Never. Okay,
No.
good. That was Michael Grace mentioned that.
Right.
And that was bogus stuff. Okay.
Right. Well,
So where are you at now?
The controversy regarding Granite Knolls itself is there were agreements made without alerting the town board or the residents or having a public hearing that we, Yorktown, would give Spectra 25 acres of land in Granite Knolls for a 3 to 5 year period to use as a construction ware yard where they can store their trucks, where when they dig all of this pipe out of the ground, they can put it there before it gets transported, where they can store new pipe. And then after the construction period is over, then they were going to give it back to Yorktown. And their agreement was to level some of the areas that used to maybe have been ball fields 30 years ago, and that are now, out of shape, overrun with trees and shrubs. And they offered to level some of those areas and put some gravel down.
Okay.
That was the agreement, and there was never an agreement in writing that was given to anyone when requesting that information. That information
And
wasn't
what
given.
is this alienation? Because I remember...
That is the parkland alienation.
Right. They had to go to New York State to
Yes.
get permission.
Right. They
That
had.
never happened, right?
Well, they tried.
They
They wrote a resolution.
Okay.
The resolution was I believe it was a 3-to-1 vote with Vishnu Patel holding out. So it passed, and it was sent up to New York State, and the paperwork was done improperly. So it was sent back, and in the time that it was sent back, some people caught wind of what was happening and started talking about it, and that's when Councilman Bianco and Councilman Patel got together and said, wait a second, we need to read through this really, really more carefully and see what's going on here. And when that happened, a lot of moms got together, they heard about it, and I think about 50 or 60 of us showed up at Town Hall for a work session, so we weren't allowed to speak.
So you think this might be the beginning of your time of getting interested
Oh, yes.
because it was a pipeline?
Oh, yes.
Because that's okay.
Because I heard
good.
that some funny business was going on, and a lot of moms, on our day-to-day routine, we have so many things on our plate, and sometimes we're not paying attention.
Right.
And I think when somebody brings up an issue, and all of a sudden a lot of people get involved in it, we can make a difference.
Yeah.
So we showed up to that meeting, and the new resolution was voted down 2-2.
Okay.
So thankfully, at this time, we're not going forward with that plan. But here's the kicker: Spectra has not allowed us to know where their new ware yard is going to be. They said it's going to be on private property, and we don't have to give you that information. So we said, well, you're not having it here at the moment. So where is it going to be? They said, well, we don't have to tell you that.
Oh, this is where the federal government comes in, and they can take eminent domain and take
They
land?
can't take our parkland. Taking parkland is really difficult to do.
Right, but they can take something else if they want it.
But depending
in
on what
Yorktown?
happens in March
Yeah.
and who's sitting on the board,
Oh, right.
could this come up again? Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
This could come up again, and they could revote to alienate this parkland and send it up to Albany.
Oh, again, okay.
And if they approve it, then we could again be faced with having this situation.
Okay, is there any, when you become a trustee, is there any other issues that you're really thinking about
Yes.
Okay, so tell us one or two of those.
One of my issues that I've really been concerned with is, and it stems from this issue, is the communication. That there's things that are being done almost in a vacuum. No one knows. No one knew about this situation and what it would entail. So when things are done in the vacuum, people don't have any input. People begin to question what's going on and the legalities of it, and what people's motivations are. So I think we need more open communication. Just let us know what's happening. Let us be able to have a voice in what's going to happen in our town.
Michael Gray's supervisor treated you pretty bad when you were talking at courtesy of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Then he told you to sit down. Remember?
Yes.
Yes. And that was pretty embarrassing. He
Yes.
called me disrespectful.
Right.
But listen, you want respect, but you want to know the information, what's going on, and
Right.
why.
Right.
You've got to answer it. You have to have constructive criticism.
Right.
And answer to people. You just don't say go away.
Right.
Okay. So you're going to be working with Michael Grace at least for a year,
Yes.
because during the election in November, he's up, and it all depends on Sue Siegel,
Right.
because she's up. Oh,
Yes.
wait a second. Oh, yeah. So now, if she runs for supervisor, that means there's 2 seats up. And then, wait, but now, let me get all this stuff straight. now, this 1 year thing is Bob Giordano. We just
Yes.
had him here, right?
Yes.
So he's running for 1 year. So
Right.
So he has to.
He
if
has to
there's a
rerun.
Rerun again
Yes.
too. Okay. But you're in the best spot there is when you win.
Yeah. If I win, yes.
Okay.
When I win.
And then you're right. So you have 3 years before you have to do any campaigning or anything like
Right.
that. Oh, so that's a positive thing for you.
I think so.
Oh,
yes.
that's good, because it's usually very costly to run and a lot of
Yes.
your time.
Yes.
All right. So what have you done now to start off your campaign? Have you done any events, or thinking of doing some events?
Yeah. Well, we have a fundraiser coming up on Saturday at Arcadia Farms, so I'm really excited about that.
Okay, great.
You know, I've had a couple of people reach out to me personally and offer a lot of assistance. It's been really nice. It's been really,
great.
really good feeling like I'm supported. A lot of moms have been reaching out, which is really nice. We're also, Bob and I are having a joint fundraiser on February 4th at Kirby's. So that's going to be a really good time for anybody, you know, public place to come and meet with us and talk to us, and hopefully give us some support. And so I'm really just starting my campaign off. I'm trying to get my materials together, my platform together in a concise, you know, manner to get it out, hopefully in the next few days, so I can really just start going and talking to people.
I want to tell the people out there, you're a member of the United Taxpayers.
I am a member of the
And it was
UTY, and
great
I am
to
the secretary of the
and
UTY. Yes.
UTY, so it's
Newly.
really great. And Bob also is a member of UTY, and we're part of his organization. So I think, I'm hoping that, we have a bipartisan organization.
Right,
We'll see
yeah.
what happens. But we have to have a unanimous if we endorse somebody. And I never like to endorse anybody, because we have all sorts of different parties and people.
Of course.
You know, but that's great. And I'm going to make you smile. That cake was really good.
It was.
It was your birthday. I thought it was a nice surprise.
I've never had a man bake me a cake
Okay, that was
ever,
good.
not even my husband.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really was special to me.
Yeah, it was special to us too, because people get involved with us. We make a lot of waves, and we're up there trying to get out information. So we want to support you. And the main thing we were up there is about courtesy to the floor. You
Yes.
talk about communications. Now, when Michael Gray started, it was unlimited. Then he limited to twice. Now he limited to once for 3 minutes.
Right.
And I don't hear anything
Well,
about it. Were you
that
at the
kind
last
of
meeting?
makes you realize what kind of input he's looking for. Maybe it was this much before. Now, okay, well, you're giving me too much input, so I'm going to try and limit you. And then maybe, okay, that's even too much. I don't want to hear that much. So now you have this amount of time.
Well, you know, it's a whole board up there.
Right. There's 5. There should be 5 people.
5 people, and they should be able to override them about courtesy.
Well, everyone has their own. Each person has their own vote, and no one's vote is more important than the other.
Right. All I have to do is bring up as a resolution.
Right.
Or saying this is what we want to do. But I don't hear that anymore. So
Right. I don't know how Susan's going to proceed with that. I know she brought up suggestions, and I don't believe they were taken into consideration. But I wasn't at that work sessions. But that's from what I understand.
well, here's another big one now. I know when I was there at the Democratic Party, we were allowed to go to the
Yes.
Democratic Party and listen. And about the fund balance, the rainy day fund. Okay. Now you said you were for it, almost. So you
Yeah.
so you want like a limitation on it, make sure you have enough money. Okay.
Right,
And
absolutely.
that's fair.
Right.
But you're going to see how much money they have because they have auditors now.
Right.
They have almost $5 million in December.
Right.
They probably have more than that now.
Well, that was December of 2013. It was the
13,
last
yeah.
time they gave us any information,
any
right?
information because you can't.
Right.
You ask them for it. So listen, are you going to be open to work with whoever's there on issues?
Absolutely.
It's always good to be independent, but a lot of those resolutions can work together.
Oh, yeah,
For the
absolutely.
people, okay? And I
Absolutely.
think that's what's lost. That you're elected by the people, and you're supposed to be for the people, not
Right.
for special interests or
Right.
yourself.
Right.
So how long you been now going to the board meetings?
About 9 months now.
9 months. Oh, well, then you see what's happening, so you understand that's why you're running. That's really great. Well, I really hope that that your experience and being a mom and going to the board meetings and have your goals set up, and that's what I think the taxpayer wants to see.
Right.
You know, and at the last minute, we always have you tell the people why you're running and stuff like that. So we know why you're running, I think, because you want to make a difference.
Exactly.
Exactly, and that's great.
It's a very simple.
Yeah, very simple to do that,
Right.
and doing the work with the people and make sure everybody's treated fair.
Right.
Well, that's great. So that's I know
you.
I've run a couple of times for the school board, 12 times, and maybe I have a chance. I'm the 13th, but my wife said, no way, because some of the people now have their kids getting out of school.
Yeah.
And that's usually why they stay there for their kids to their term. But we'll see what happens. So with the new properties coming in like Costco, and with them getting taxes, so are you for Costco to come in with the? That's another thing. It's almost there. Huh?
Yes, the rezoning was approved, so it seems like it's it's on its way. They have more steps to go through. Here's my take on Costco. Before I got involved in anything with the town, and before I even moved into Yorktown, I lived in Cortland for 5 years. So I would drive 202 and I would see this dilapidated old structure that looked terrible to me. I'm like, and I would always wonder to myself, what is that? Why is nothing ever being done with it? It's an eyesore, and it's not any productive. It's a loss to the community.
Yeah.
So, I said, I always had in the back of my mind, something should go there. Everyone has their own ideas of what they want, what stores they want, what kind of development they want. I think we can't really always control who wants to come in and develop in our neighborhoods, but Costco is a company that's going to come in. They've been working with the community to make sure that they answer everyone's concerns, and I think it's going to be another place to shop. I think it'll draw people to Yorktown to shop there and maybe do other things while they're here. So I'm in favor of it. I think we need to put something there. Otherwise, it's just a waste of real estate.
Agreed yet is the traffic.
The traffic,
and,
yes.
And the problem how you get in and out.
Yes.
So I think everybody should stay off the road from maybe 1:30 to 6:30 at night and go shopping real early.
Yeah.
Because you got the schools coming out,
Yes.
you get all the different roads coming in. So
Yes.
I'm hoping that they figure out a plan.
Yes.
At least turn away one of those roads, because you got going west, you got
Right.
going east, you're coming down from the Taconic, so that's
Right.
it. Well, listen,
I think because it's so close to the Taconic, it could, if there's, people that are coming on and off from the Taconic and going there, I think, that's going to be, that's a check in their favor.
Right.
But yeah, that'll
That
remain
was the
to be
first
seen.
question I asked. Why can't you make an exit to the Taconic?
Right.
It was against the law. But that would have been helped out if they made
Right.
some way of getting out instead of 202.
Right.
So now, I forget what they're calling now, but right next to Costco is Old Compound Road.
Right.
The last meeting, they want to put houses in there
Houses, yeah.
and change that. I only see one road
Right.
coming out there. Now, if that's added to it, I don't know what's going to
That
happen.
is the biggest concern that I have. The project sounds wonderful. It's in the very beginning stages.
Yeah, right. This one's in the end.
It just started. It's probably going to go on for the next year and a half. But that is my biggest, concern is the
right
traffic
next to-
in that area and how that would be managed.
Right, that's the next. Well, when you get on the board, that'll be one of your things.
It would be
'cause
one
it
of my
won't-
things.
It won't
Yes.
be. But it's funny. It sounds like, and I watch the people there, that those people who live there
They
are
want
going to, yeah, because going to sell their homes
Yeah.
to give it to this builder.
Well, they're not selling their homes. They're selling portions of their property.
Well, that's what I'd like to find out. What portion, if the whole thing, what they're getting for it. Because I think it was 26 acres in there.
Yes, they sold portions of property that was like a common area.
Right.
That they were able to portion off and sell. Yeah.
So, everything, you got to look at money.
Everything is money.
Everything's money. So that's
Everything's
good.
money.
But listen, that's another one. I think Granite Knolls, I think the building is down. I'm not sure. Remember Granite Knolls, that old building was up?
Yes.
These are the things I complained about.
Yeah, they kept talking about it. I'm not sure if it's actually been taken down yet. I haven't driven past there.
Right, I have to go and see.
Yeah.
But they got somebody to take it down, I hope,
Yes.
and that's one of them.
As long as it doesn't turn into another Holland Sporting Club issue,
Oh, right, yeah, right, in Holland Sports Club. So I'm hearing that's almost taken care of.
yes,
But that,
they have to do some more testing.
yeah, more testing and stuff. So again, something to save money is now cost money.
Because if you don't do it right the first time,
Right. That.
it's like your mother taught you, your grandmother taught, just do it right the first time.
Right.
You
But they
know?
want to spend the money and have the right guys come in and do it.
Right,
So again, they had the highway superintendent, Eric Di Bartolo, do the first one.
Right.
Now they're having highway superintendent Dave Paganelli doing it. Let's see what happens. But those are a lot of things that are just waiting there to be done. And the other one was Shallow Creek. Now Shallow Creek was a golf course,
right.
okay? And they're supposed to have a vendor taking it over.
Right.
So they just signed agreements with that. So
Right.
that's another one. The dog park was done this
Yeah.
year, so I think people were happy with that. Wasn't supposed to
Yes.
cost the taxpayer anything. But we'll see, it costs us $20,000. So there are so many, you
There's
have
a
a
lot of
hard job
issues.
up there. There are so many issues that come up, and you don't even know when they're going to come up.
yeah,
But I like Vishnu Patel with his piece of paper saying,
Yes.
if you don't tell me in 24 hours, and I think, according to you, want 48.
I would love 48 hours
right.
because, what if you
Ex-
get an email and you have, that's very important and you want to have some time to read it and
Yeah.
you're at, an event or at a meeting for something else.
Yeah.
You still need time.
And at the meeting the other night, just the attorney hands him papers saying, well, the thing that's underlined in red, that was it for me.
Right.
And that was it for
Right.
Vishnu and stuff like that. But
Right. And listen, I'm not obsessed with the paper. It's the issue, right? But so if you have a resolution that's completely written up and someone changes 3 words, would I say, well, now I need another 48 hours to look at this because you changed 3 words? No. And that's not the kind of thing, I'm talking about. It's everything in moderation,
Right.
If you're
Gotta be-
given
you gotta be
an
consistent.
11-page document at 7:30 that you've never seen before, that's completely inappropriate.
and the supervisor says, well, I'm going to read it, you listen to me, and then you
Right.
give me a break.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. But these are some of the things you have to stop.
Yes.
And if you have enough votes together,
Right.
Everybody does the right thing.
Right.
And that's why even at this last meeting, he cut Susan Siegel off, and she says, I have the right to speak and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, so anything else that you,
Yeah.
part of our organization is taxes.
Absolutely.
So I know you mentioned my name
Yes.
about the school and taxes. How do you feel about that now? Now, you mentioned a full-day kindergarten. I
Yes.
know now. Look, you may be the liaisons. They have a liaison
Right.
between the board and the school in Yorktown.
I would love to do that.
Oh, you would love to? Okay, because that's important. And they started now with the budget again. And at full day kindergarten, they had 1.5 million. Let's see if they have anything to keep it going.
Yes, well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes.
So you work along with the school people, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just joined the PTA. My daughter just started just started kindergarten, full day kindergarten this year, and so I did join the PTA. I do because I've been so involved with the town. I do limited volunteer in the school, and so I just I'm getting my feet wet with that, and I think it's a nice balance being able to have someone who can be in a school, see what's going on, have children that are going to the school system, and also be on the board. I mean,
well, sometimes it
nice
affects
to
the
have
school
both.
system.
Oh yeah.
Like we were just talking about that thing next to Costco.
Right.
If they put 80 homes in there
Yes, it will.
with
It
80
will.
kids, makes a big effect.
Oh, it can. It depends
on
on how many kids move in there, and which is it's such a hard calculation to make.
And it's about $25,000 a year for each kid. That's what it costs.
Right, but the developments themselves would also be raising. The people who live there, who purchased a home, would be paying school taxes and town taxes. So I believe the offset was that the school board, the school would actually be getting more than what would cover for the extra expenses for the children.
So. If you put 3 kids in one of those buildings, that's $75,000. I don't think they're paying that much in taxes. But listen, as long as you can work together, that's great.
And those are things that really need to be looked at because. This was just an initial presentation, so it's really that's where you'd be asking more detailed questions, and as the project progresses, get more and more detailed because you have to factor all of those things in.
Okay, because you have a lot of groups that you have to listen to sometimes. Yeah. Now we talk about the sports clubs.
Right.
Okay, this is what always bugged me. Al French and the soccer club gave the town $50,000 to fix a field or do whatever they want with it.
Right.
The town never took the money.
Right.
In the budget, $78,000 for the sports clubs. So we went there every year for years saying, well, if they don't need it, why give them so much?
Right.
Okay. So this only proves that.
Right.
Okay. So listen, time is going fast. We know why you want to run. We got all that stuff. We know your background. Now you got 1 minute to look at that camera.
Okay.
If you faint, I have water here
thank you.
just in case.
Thank
listen,
you.
This is part of running for a candidacy. You got to tell the people why to run. Okay?
Okay.
Looking right there and go for it.
Again, my name is Rosanne Brackett. I am running for the unexpired 3-year seat left by Terrence Murphy. I am running because I feel like I can bring a new perspective to the town board, one of a family, since almost 40% of Yorktown households have a child under the age of 18. It would be wonderful to have all of those households represented. I also feel that I have a lot to offer in the way of, I'm in the community, I'm in the stores, in the schools every day, and I really do hear what people are saying. I think I can help bring a little bit of compromise and respectfulness back to the board. I am demanding. I like my information. I like it to be given in a prompt manner and in an appropriate way. So I will be asking for that.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming. And the people out there, don't forget to vote for Rosanne
Tax bracket.
Brackett when it comes up. Remember, it's March 10th. You got to get out there to vote. Listen, thank you for watching. This is the Watchdog Report. We're out there for you. We're putting people that are knowledgeable on the board and hoping for the people. Good night. Thank you.